Hello, Dr. Michael Laitman. The topic for today is impure forces. It sounds mystical, but we're going to speak in Kabbalistic language, Klipot. Sometimes I'll say impure forces, and our students will get used to it. So what is, first question, what is Klipa in spiritual work? Dr. Laitman. Klipa, it's Klipa. It's, for example, there's a fruit that we want to get to, and to get it, we need to remove the outer form, which is called Klipa. That's the skin, the peel. Yes, it's not just an ordinary peel. It allows the fruit to ripen and become good, so it could be consumed as needed for its function. Otherwise, it would just rot. It wouldn't grow. Everything starts from Klipa, and the Klipa grows and grows, and practically it's the only, in its last phase becomes very thin, Klipa, like a very thin covering. And inside it is a sweet fruit. So, a literal meaning, it's like skin, but the Kabbalistic meaning is impure forces. Dr. Laitman, well, we shouldn't call them impure right away because it's like you're rejecting them, this meaning. But these are forces that are actually helping the fruit to ripen. They cover it, they protect it, and care for it, so it wouldn't be eaten by different enemies. So Klipot protects the fruit, and when this fruit, when it's completed and it's ripe and it's ready for consumption, then the Klipot appears as that under it is a good sweet fruit. And then the person can rip the fruit off the tree and clean off the peel and consume it. So how do you explain that, the fruit? What is it? Well, for example, in our world, an apple, but in a spiritual world, it is actual knowledge, and to attain this, you need to grow and grow for a long time. This tree and with its fruits, and constantly over this tree, have to do all kinds of manipulations to water it, to add fertilizer, to care for it, and when the fruit is ripe, then only then it's ready for consumption. So these knowledge about what? I'm talking about spiritual knowledge. But what is that? Spiritual knowledge is everything that surrounds us, internal, external forces, and mainly, most important, their source, the creator. So there's some knowledge, there's some information, and to get it, there's this klipa, this peel, that are like obstacles, interferences. Well, these are not just obstacles. They're made in such a way that they protect the fruit, and then only the person that wants to attain the internal state, essence, the filling of that fruit, must overcome these external forces that protect this fruit. So he must correct himself in such a way that these external forces wouldn't be an interference. So this klipa, this outer covering, it protects the fruit from a person that is not yet ready to take a bite of that actual fruit. So we're saying this fruit is actual knowledge, and if this knowledge would open up before the klipa would cover it, then it would damage or hurt the person. Yeah, we see this all the time when if knowledge falls into the hands of people that are not ready for it, then these people,
когда вы говорите знание, я так понимаю, это знание о высшей системе, о Творце, можно так сказать,
да.
О природе, загадке природы.
Да.
Ваш учитель пишет так, что клипа, это, он дает такое определение в одной из своих статей, что Рабаш, что это желание получать с намерением ради себя.
So Rabash wrote that this is the intention to receive for oneself. So if such a state is called Klipa, when one wants to receive for oneself. So how can we relate this to knowledge that you talked about before, prior? In a person, this desire, it's built in from beginning. He's born with it like a child with his fists closed, and he wants the whole world for himself. But when he dies, his hands are open. It's the opposite. Hands are open. So this intention, again, for oneself, that is the klipa that covers, that prevents me from getting certain knowledge of the Creator. Yes, and because of it, you must do such that you receive everything only for the benefit of others around you, and only for that. So again, how does this outer peel covering this intention represents the intention only to do things for yourself? How come it does not allow to reveal the Creator and all this knowledge about all of creation? Because it protects all of the knowledge, spiritual, not material. Because material knowledge is open for us, and we can use it for ourselves and to the disadvantage of others. But this is about the understanding of the entire system, everything that exists, everything that fulfills us, surrounds us. All of it is not accessible to us unless we get to such a level of our internal development, such that we would do everything only for the benefit of others. So the spiritual world is built in such a way that you cannot reveal the Creator, use knowledge to reveal the Creator only for the sake of yourself. It's only for the sake of others, right? Right. So what are different kinds of klipot that exist? There's different gradations. Yes, of course. I don't even know if they need to be called by different names. Well, for example, there's these two that I heard. There's this Egyptian Klipa, as your teacher has written, it's like a general one, and then there's Amalek, and this is like Limad Lekabel, which in Hebrew it means to receive for oneself. So it says specifically Amalek, this Klipa, this one is directed to move a person away from the greatness of the Creator, and the Egyptian one is this general one. So what's the difference? Well, the general one is the one that closes away for everyone. The Egyptian one, yes, as it's written in Torah, yes, but the one that's private, that one closes the center of the heart of this the highest wisdom. But what does that mean from me to the Creator? Well, that you don't see Him, you don't feel Him, you don't understand Him, you can't affect Him, and in the same way, He as if doesn't respond to you at all. So it seems like the Klipa protects us from the light of the Creator. Right. from getting closer to the Creator. And what if it didn't protect us? What would happen? Oh, then we would damage ourselves in such a way that it's as if you're afraid to leave a child with some instruments or in situation that could hurt him. So I'll speak very simply. So, in all of your lectures, we speak about the Creator as this love of love, this force of love and bestowal. So how can such a force be used to damage myself? Well, of course, because you would want to receive more for yourself than you would be able to use correctly. Yeah. And then you would have to be limited. So love can also be used against to hurt yourself. Yeah, it can be a horrific force. So love of the Creator towards creation. Oh yeah, absolutely. So then there's this Klipa that doesn't allow this. Yeah, it prevents this possibility. It hides it. So it's a very interesting topic that you brought up, that in our world, so many have tried, for example, ancient Greece, that wanted to figure out how to fight these evil intentions of people, but still, all this knowledge still falls into the hands of egoists, right? Dr. Laitman, because all this knowledge was on the level of people, but Kabbalists are on a higher level and nobody can grab all of this knowledge, because in order to get closer to them, to open them, to work with them, then you must be on this level of that knowledge. And a regular person and an egoist cannot do that. So if I understand correctly, in order to get Kabbalistic knowledge, one must change their intention, and when he changes that, then he doesn't have any other choice other than to use this knowledge properly. But in our world, a person doesn't need to change themselves, and the scientist can stay as an egoist and still continue to receive the knowledge and pass it on and use it. Yes. And this is a big problem, because once even Aristotle wrote that don't open up our knowledge, wisdom to regular people, because they won't be able to know how to use it, and they will end up hurting the whole world. And this is exactly what's happening. Yeah, look, and now all of our scientists are constantly revealing all the knowledge, and look where we're heading. Well, all of this majesty of the power of science, where's it going? Towards destruction, mostly. But we're trying to be hopeful that there's some higher system that will not allow us to destroy ourselves. Well, this will not help this higher system. We need to think about ourselves from our point of view, that we can open up as much as we can. So, from your blog, you wrote that this Klipa is like a simulator that trains us to when we make mistakes and different errors, so it's like a trainer. Is this how I'm translated? That it's a trainer? Okay, a trainer. So can you give us an example that through Klipot, that you can study them and you can attain knowledge through your mistakes? Well, when a person really wants to attain knowledge, the inner knowledge of how nature works, how it works, and how it affects us, then we're coming to a state where our thoughts and feelings are all against our own selves. We start to feel that and understand that our qualities, earthly ones, egoistic ones, they're in the way, and we're stuck in them, and we cannot free ourselves from them. What can we do to rise above them and sense a surrounding world that's not so distorted in our egoistic qualities, but in the way that it actually exists by itself? And then we try to just rip apart this this sort of covering peel that we're stuck in, and come out of its borders, and that's the goal of the Kabbalists. It is written here that one is created opposite of the other by the Creator. So then there is these holy worlds, and then also the impure, these impure forces, or Klipot, opposite of the bestowal and love. So it must be so that there must be one against the other. Then without these impure forces and intentions, then you wouldn't be able to understand, clarify the good ones, right? And this is very similar to Hegel, where only from the struggle of the opposites you can understand the unity. Yeah, everything we understand is from opposite qualities, because if we don't have opposite quality of something specific, then we can't understand that's something. So we must go through these impure intentions. Pure and non-pure doesn't matter. The opposite, basically. Okay, so for advanced students, what kind of behaviors or relationships in the group between friends that can be called Klipa? Well, in the group between friends, such relations, the Klipa can't really exist, but it's jealousy, envy, desire not to help, neglect, all these things that create these conflicts that are sort of soulful against the soul, the heart. So how can you explain this mechanism of Klipa? How does it work? Well, there's different qualities in a person that create the Klipa. Mostly these are egoistic qualities, but they divide also into different categories, if you can almost say that. Jealousy, envy, honor, wanting to be pride. Absolutely, that's a general one. Such qualities. Yeah, so all qualities that disconnect us. Yeah, actually, there's many, but they all create one egoistic, the I of the person. So, is there a difference between all of these qualities? Is there a difference between the jealousy, envy, and versus people that are already in some higher attainment of the upper force? But they're there also. So even up until the final correction, this exists? Yes. And are there any ways to get rid of Klipot? Only through getting closer between the friends. Only when the person grabs on to the friends and desires to be just one with them, and no other qualities, because Klipa, in principle, is the desire to push away, to reject, to isolate oneself away from others and only be in oneself. So there's this general Klipa in the group that it works between the friends, and it just kind of pushes people away, pride, jealousy. But then there's also another one, the Amalek, which is pushes one away from the Creator. So it tells the person that you are more important. Your self-benefit is more important. Yes, that's correct. So it still seems like to go through all this spiritual work and to not fall into these klipot is impossible, because here you're saying the person must go through them and has to go through them. Yeah, you said it very correctly. It is so. We must rise and fall, and this way, from these falls and descents, we will start to understand, and we will remove a little bit of the this Klipa, a little bit of this peel, a little bit of this is ego, a little bit of this jealousy and envy and pride, and we will slowly rise these little pieces of this egoism, and correct them. So all the fear is not that you fell into the Klipot and then you rose above, but the problem is falling and that you can't get out of it. Is that the problem? No, that can't really happen, because in the end, the Creator, the higher force, it takes care of everyone and raises everyone. So it doesn't matter if you fell or didn't fall. It says so that the righteous falls 1,000 times and continues and gets up. So one can fall and then get up in a second. The other one can fall and get up in a year. Yeah, depends on the readiness to get up, to rise up again. And then it's written that Klipa is works in the opposite form, because if it didn't exist, then we wouldn't be able to handle all of this unity and all this quality of bestowals. Because I am an egoist and I cannot work if I don't get any return for myself. But this Klipot still tells me, well, you will still get something out of it. You will get some reward. So it still pushes me to do that. So do I understand that correctly? Yes. So still, even so, it's impossible to directly go towards to obtain this quality of bestowal and love, right? Right. Okay, looks like we covered everything about Klipot. Well, so lastly, so how to protect yourself from these Klipot, or once you fall, how to rise up right away. So it wouldn't take too much time to stay in them. I would say that, so if you are connected to the group, if you have very clear understanding that everything depends on the connection between friends, and only if you are working correctly towards the Creator, then also between you will constantly have all kinds of problems, but you will rise above them all the time. And each of your fall will be accompanied with even a greater rise towards altruism, out of egoism towards altruism, and in the end, you will very quickly attain the goal. So you said once that Klipa, in its function, it basically prolongs time. What does it mean that it stretches time? It's in our world. There's time. Yes, there's possibility to accelerate or to delay time. But how is it in spirituality? Does it also stretch time like that? In spirituality, it's states. It's so don't worry. We will, regardless, we will use time and we'll accelerate and make it more concise. It depends on how we will become more interconnected, and we will shorten all this, both rises and falls. Thank you very much. The spiritual states, Klipot.